How's it going, folks? We are Combo Nouveau. We are a gypsy jazz band out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. We are a trio, and if you don't know gypsy jazz, it is a form of music from France in the 1930s when a guitarist named Django Reinhardt learned about jazz, and he's a gypsy, so he mixed the two styles together, so it's gypsy jazz. So we were trying to think of what songs represent the style, what songs are kind of like the more modern sound, or what songs are, you know, a little bit in between, stuff like that. So the first one we decided, Yours and Mine, is very much like a gypsy jazz sounding song. It's like, I mean, they all are, but it's very Django-y. And so we were like, let's do that one just to knock it off. And it's also, it's a very beautiful tune. It's very upbeat and fun, so. Well, I think, Paul, you had the most interesting family dynamic I've ever
Right?
seen.
Maybe so. All my family are musicians, and so my parents introduced us to a lot of different styles of music. Definitely jazz and swing and old country, bluegrass. So music was always in the house. If my dad wasn't teaching lessons, we were sitting around practicing and playing together. And so, yeah, a lot of different styles. And then we've kind of gravitated towards Western swing, gypsy jazz, play a lot of that these days. Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah, me too. I grew up not necessarily playing with my family, but there was always music in the house. And it was kind of a mix of country music at the time, a lot of early blues, a lot of old blues music, and then, you know, kind of classic rock too, which I was kind of into as a young kid, but then as a teenager, I sort of got more into punk rock music. And then listening to certain groups kind of led me down this path towards looking backwards, looking at early traditional American music. So that was just kind of like the gateway for me. It's just like, oh, I'm playing this big instrument and I can apply it to all these different styles. And and I'm still trying to do it today. So
Yeah, great.
yeah, Mike, how about it?
Yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 14 years old. My family is not musical whatsoever. I am practically the only musician in my family. I mean, there's a couple little outliers who dabble, but no one was ever serious about it. My dad loved music though, so I grew up listening to, the Beatles, a lot of the Beatles. He always wanted me to play guitar, and he had a guitar. He couldn't really play it, and he would try to show me stuff, and I hated it. I really hated it, and I didn't want to do it until I was 14 years old. I was at a friend's house, and he asked me, he's like, "You ever heard Metallica before?" And I was a little, a hard-headed kid, so I said, "Metallica sucks. I hate Metallica. All they do is scream." And then he was like, "Let me just show you the song real quick." And he shows me The Unforgiven. And it was beautiful, and I loved it. I was obsessed with it immediately. And then he walked over and grabbed his guitar, and he could play it. And I was like, "What is happening right now? Can you show me that?" So he showed me a little thing of guitar, and I just literally nonstop played it from that moment until now.
Yeah.
Went through many styles. I went through classical. And then in 2012, it was actually right after I graduated college, I found Django. I found him on a YouTube video. And I could not believe it, because it was a sound that had actually been in my ear like a worm my whole life. And when I heard it on YouTube, I freaked out. I looked in the comment section to see who said it was what. Gypsy Jazz, typed it in, and there was a whole world. And I just decided at that moment, that's what I'm doing. So 12 years later, how's it going? This one's great because it has a Django intro that's super classic. And it also is one of our more orchestrated songs. So unlike some of the others where we just kind of play the song as is, this one has some different sections. So it has the intro, then it has the slower melodic section in the beginning, then it goes and speeds up halfway through. Jake and I run a bunch of solos over it. And then at the very end, which is like kind of like the cherry on top of the song, is that it comes in with a classic melody that it's kind of one of those melodies that if you don't know it, you've definitely heard it, and if you haven't heard it, you feel like you've heard it, which is it's so weird. But it's the Rhapsody in Blue theme from George Gershwin. Super beautiful song. So we chose that one to be third in the list because it's just a variance. It's more eye-catching. It has some of the slow, some of the fast. There's not too much of any of it.
Sol ce soir.
Sol ce soir, yeah. Super beautiful tune. One of the most gorgeous. It reminds me of the French sound, honestly. It sounds like France, sounds romantic. It's a beautiful tune. I love to play that one. You'd find it playing in one of those old radios in like an old 1930s, 40s movie, black and white noir film or something, It's just a classic sounding tune, really pretty.